Hello everyone, this is Crystal Putta from Prayerful Arts, and about a year ago I did a video on making this 12 diamond division, and I will link that video in the comments below. If I can figure out how to do it up here, I will, but if not, it will be in the comments below. In that video I demonstrated how I did one of the designs in here. But someone had asked me how I did one of the other designs, because I had 4 different eggs there showing variations of this division. And so someone else asked me about a different element that I put in here and how did I do that. So this video will be demonstrating that division. One change I'm going to make between this one and the previous video was that I'm going to use kind of the same color scheme, but in the other one I used yellow, light blue, and dark blue. I am going to actually use the gold color, because one of the things I would have changed on that was to make the yellow a deeper yellow, because you couldn't really see the yellow against the white. So I'm going to make that change, but the division is exactly the same. And I am going to put that in all of these. I'm not going to draw it in all of them, but I will demonstrate how I drew that and then do the color sequence for you as well. It's pretty simple once you get this like kind of like a sunburst 8-pointed star mandala. It's kind of, I don't know, it's cool. I hope you like it. So let's get started with that. All right, I am going to use, I'm going to draw the lines kind of dark so you can see them. And then I will probably wash them off because I want the lines to be white. So if you've drawn this division, I'm going to start with this one. There's already a line, your equator line is already going through here. So I'll just make that one darker. Then the next thing I did was I drew a line that went from this point to that point. All right. And then the next thing I did was I drew a line that went from here to here, kind of cutting this in half. I didn't measure it, I just eyeballed it. And that seemed to work. And then I did the same thing over here. Now I'm going to draw the inner star. Or I should say, yeah, I guess I would call it the inner star. I did not measure this area here. If you want to measure that and make little lines all the way around, you can. I'm just going to eyeball it. If you like to have everything exact, you can, but I'm just trying to make sure that like those two are across from each other. So then I'll turn it, do another one. When I was taught this division, they said you're making the letter M. So you're kind of making the letter M all the way around. And you end up with an 8-pointed star. Then what I did was this area here, this like V shape, I'm not going to do it at the tip of them. I'm going to go in just a little bit and draw that. And then I'm trying to keep it so that it touches that line. That makes it nice and centered. Now I am going all the way to the points. You don't have to go all the way, I should say, to the lines. You don't have to go all the way to the lines. If you want to go just part way to the lines, you can. That is entirely up to you. I think in the video I did not go all the way to the edge, so I'm not sure why I drew this one that way, but I did. Okay, so that is what you would draw in all of the areas. So let's do this one up here, because it's you start out just a little differently. In the ones that are here, the diamonds that are here and here, you already have a line that goes through the egg like this. So you're just taking advantage of the line that's already drawn. And now you draw the line like that. And then you draw this line and this line. So you've got it divided into 8. And now again, I'm going to draw this star. So, you know, your center star is not real big, but not too small because you want to get color in there. All right, so it looks like that. Now, okay, I'm going to draw the second part of it, but I'm not going to go all the way to the edge so you can see what that looks like. And how you do it is entirely up to you. But if it were my egg, I would do them all the same. So if I went to the end on one, I would do it on all of them. You don't have a lot of space here, so especially on the side ones. On the ones on the top and bottom, there's a lot. So you might be getting pretty close to the outline of the diamond. And like I said, and you know what? If one of them touches it, that's okay. It's okay. It's just the division. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw this pattern on all the other diamonds, and then I'm going to wax all those lines while the egg is white. And then I'm going to dye it in the Ukrainian gift shop yellow. And then I'm going to take it out of that. I'm not putting any wax on it. And then I'm going to dye it in the Ukrainian gift shop gold. So I will get a deeper gold. So when I come back, the egg will be gold. So after I got all these lines drawn on here, I thought, well, maybe I should show you how I wax this type of design. So I'm going to use my Luba's Electric with a fine tip, but you can use a medium. You can use a smaller one if you want. All right. So I have, you probably can't see it, but I do have the pattern drawn on here. So what I do is I start and I draw like this. I'm kind of drawing those lines that went from one end to the other, but I'm only drawing them for as big as what I need for that first star. So now I'm going to draw, now I'm going to put in all the points. And the star, of course, being the light of Christ, shining upon us, showering us with love and mercy and graces to live our life as Christians. Okay, so there I have the first star drawn, written with this. Now I'm going to do the second layer, and again I'm going to start, I'm going to go in just a little bit from the point. Okay, and go all the way around. And I decided I'm not going to touch the outside of the diamond. That was how I did it in the other video, so I'm just trying to be consistent. But I could have had it touch that. That would have been fine too. Okay, there you have it. So I'll have to repeat this in all of the other 11 diamonds. And in the previous video, this inner star I had as a yellow. I'm going to make it a little deeper yellow. And then I did these in the very light blue, and then I did the background in the royal blue. I could have also made the center part the light blue and made these the yellow. I could have used any color combination I wanted. I mean, I could have used red, orange, yellow. That was just the colors I chose to go with. So, and because of what I did in the other one, I'm going to repeat it. And that's okay too, because that one sold. So now I have another one that will be very similar to it. So when I come back, this will be gold. All right, we are back, and the egg is now this beautiful deep yellow color. So what I'm going to do now is fill in all of the inner star. And I'm doing this all in one color, mainly because that was the way it was on the video, the other YouTube video I did. But you don't have to do them all the same color. You could alternate them. It's, you know, your preference. So just gonna go and do little overlapping circles. I'm using the fine Kiska just so I can get up into that point of the star without going over it. And once I've gone over all these with the wax, I will peer at it through my magnifier, which is right here. But I'm not going to have you look at it through the magnifier. I don't think that would video very well. But that's attached to my light that is above me. When I was working on this earlier, it was a beautiful sunny day, and now it's nighttime. Definitely need the light shining. So I'll be going through this, and then because I'm going to put it in the very light blue, which is a tablespoon of the prepared light blue dye. So you make up, a jar of the light blue dye. You take a tablespoon of that, a tablespoon of vinegar, and a cup of water. And you get this very nice robin's egg blue color. This is what it looked like on a different egg that I was working on. Anyway, I will, because if I have this yellow egg and I put it in blue, I will get green. And I don't want green, I want blue. So after I get all of these waxed, I'm going to put it in the very light blue. I'm going to wash it, and then I'm going to put it in the very light blue. I will actually let it dry in between. But I talk a lot about washing the egg, and so I'm going to show you the next step, how I do that, how I wash the egg off. So I'm going to finish waxing this, and then we'll wash it off. So welcome to the bathroom sink. This one's right outside my studio, so it's the one I tend to use, except when I'm etching. I do that in a plastic tub. So this handy thing we saw on the Incredible Eggs Wax and Batik Facebook page. It is a lingerie bag and pool noodle. And it helps if you're washing an egg. It's like a little egg trampoline, if it slips out of your hand, it'll land on this. Now, this doesn't really fit in my bathroom sink. It works better in a bigger sink. I have a small bathroom. Anyway, so here's our egg. I have all the stars waxed. I use Dawn dish soap. And then if I have to, I probably will. I use this, it's a pretty soft toothbrush. I'll go over it, make sure I got it all off. And I'm going to use some lukewarm water. I'm going to try really hard not to knock off the camera that's sitting right here beside me. Okay, normally I do not wear gloves, but I have blue dye on my hands, so I'm afraid I'll get it on the eggs, and I don't want to. So, oops, that was a little more than I wanted. Okay, so I put some of the dish soap on it, and I kind of roll it around in my hands, like that. And my experience is, if you are going to do a wash back, the shorter, how can I say this? the longer you leave the dye on the egg, the harder it's going to be to get it off. So mainly what I'm saying here is, like, if it's been on there for 4 or 5 days, it may not come off as well as if this has only been on here for a couple hours. Now, I will let this dry. I'm going to let it dry overnight and work on it again. If you don't have that much time where you can wait, then you can give it at least 5 minutes to get really good and dry, because if it's too wet, it won't take the next color of dye. All right, I have some paper towels sitting over here. I like to use Viva because they don't seem to have as much lint and they don't have a pattern on them. Now, this is not exactly back to the white, but I have enough of it off that it is not going to interfere with the next color. If I'm not happy with that, the other thing I can do is I have a little I think it's cottage cheese container, and I have some vinegar in that. You can use distilled vinegar or you can use cleaning vinegar. Kind of roll it around for a minute or so and then wash it and then scrub it also. And that will, when you do the scrubbing, don't scrub real hard or you'll scrub wax off. But this is enough that it will not interfere with the light blue. I won't get green, in other words. So again, it didn't have to be exactly white since I'm doing other colors. Now, if it was going to be my final color, I would probably put it in vinegar so it would be white if that's what I wanted for my final color. Right, so my next step is I'm going to dye this in the very light blue, and then the final color will be the royal blue. So when I come back, it'll be the very light blue. So now it's morning. Actually, last night, after the egg dried for a while, I dyed it in the very light blue. And this is what we have now. So now what I'm going to do is fill in all of the points of the outer star with wax for this color. Now I'm just going to go around and fill all of these in, just like that. I love this very light blue color. It's just, I don't know, I find it a soothing color. Maybe that's why I like it. It's just so soothing. At times it has this delicate appearance to me. Okay, so I will do that on all the other stars. In fact, I started to do it down here, and then I remembered, oh wait, I was going to video this. So this pattern is a little different from the one in the previous video. In the previous video, I did not have this space here. In between them, the diamonds were hooked together. And I went back and forth on, should I do it in the yellow or should I do it in the blue? I decided, obviously, not to do it in the yellow because I've already dyed it blue. I'm thinking this color that the shell is now is very light blue. I think I'm going to dip it in the light blue and wax all of this area, and then I'm going to do the royal blue for the final color. So that's where I'm leaning right now, but when we come back, I'm going to have all the colors on the egg and we will do a reveal. I'm excited. So here we are. We are ready to take the wax off. I'm going to use a candle and hope that I don't catch anything on fire, including me. It's not right above the the camera. So we're going to give this a whirl and see how it happens. So I have my candle here. If your egg is plugged, you want to take the plug out first or melt it off first, which I have already removed it. So I go from the side. So I have to turn this candle a little. I do very small sections. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's so pretty. So pretty. So if you're using the candle, you can use a little bit of like a vegetable oil on your egg to help the wax slide off. I did not because I was anxious to take off the wax. You do want to be careful that you don't leave it in the flame too long because you could scorch your egg. If you do scorch your egg, you know it because there's like a brown spot that won't come off. You think it's wax, and then you keep going over it, and then you realize, no, that's not wax, that's a scorch mark. One thing I have found is there's a product in the US called Goo Gone, and that will take off the scorch mark if you get it on there relatively quickly. Goo Gone will also take off wax, so if you are really concerned about using a candle and you don't have any other means like a heat gun or an oven, you can use a chemical process like Goo Gone. It takes a lot, and you do have to be careful because sometimes the Goo Gone can take off the wax as well. Not the wax, the color. You want it to take off the wax. You don't want it to take off the color. So just be careful if you use Goo Gone. Just when I use the Goo Gone, I spray it on a like a towel, like a paper towel, and then I roll the egg around it. I don't ever, I have a spray bottle. I don't ever put it, like spray it directly on the egg because I don't know about having it come out that quickly. You know, with some force. I'm afraid it would leave like spotting on the egg. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you to my viewer Oda that had suggested this, or had asked a question about the pattern. So I thought, hey, you know what? I can do a YouTube on that. The other thing that's important when you're taking your wax off like this is that you use a clean part of the tissue, because otherwise you'll just be smearing wax all over the place. Oops. And the more you take the wax off, the egg starts to warm up and it's a little faster. The wax comes off a little quicker. This is the traditional way to remove the wax. Oh, now my flame got big. I also think it dripped wax all over my desk here. But as you can see from my colorful tissue paper, it's probably time to put down some new tissue paper. Oh, wow, I'm almost done with this. This has turned out beautiful, and I am very glad I went with the gold for the center part of the star, because it does give more contrast against the white. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but the yellow was pretty. It just didn't have the contrast. Am I done? Oh, there's some more. Okay, and I do still have to varnish it, but, oh, a little bit there at the top. A little bit. Okay. Looks like I got it all. Okay, So here we have it. And so I did the design, the 12 diamonds. I drew my star, my 8-pointed star in each one of them. The first dye I used was yellow. I did not put wax on it. Then I put it in gold for the inner star. I washed it off. I did this very light blue, which is the prepared dye. Then I did the light blue, and then I did royal blue. And those are all Ukrainian gift shop colors, and I love it. So thank you very much for watching and giving me suggestions. I love when people ask me, hey, can you do this? And if I can do it, I will do it. So thank you again for watching, and have a blessed day.